Oh dear. Don't mind the Great Lighthouse being completed. That actually means that I know Moscow's not been going after the Colossus. Which is good. Genoa looks elsewhere. Of course it did, because I'm not producing much faith, am I? It is tempting to build a city over here, but right this second right now, it's more important to get a city near me that I can actually defend. Because if Assyria gets a bit frisky and decides to be a pain, then it'll be quite hard to defend a city by Panama. Consequently, we're not going to do that. We're going to settle where we did. There is a fly buzzing around. Well, it's not buzzing, because if it did, you'd be able to hear it. It's just being a bit of a pain. I'm going to try and resist attacking it and killing it, because that would be unprofessional in a video, says the guy that's already killed a moth in the video, I know. I'll try and ignore it. It's just right in the corner of my eye line. And as a result, it is really, really annoying. But we have our city of Coimbra, or Coimbra, or whatever it's called. We'll work that wheat immediately. And get a monument out, of course, at half of the course. And we got 6. What sort of rubbish is that? Fine, I've been looking to get cash in hand, and the advantage of leaving spare resources is that the AI does not generally ask for your gold. It asks for your resources, and unless I'm getting a really good deal for my resources, I'm not going to trade them out. For that obvious reason. Okay, we're going to create a mine, because there's not a lot of production around Coimbra, or Coimbra. I'm going to call it Coimbra, even if I'm wrong, because it's easier to say. And if by any chance I do have a Portuguese viewer, or even maybe a Spanish viewer that happens to know, or just a person that knows, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, let me know. And I do record a little bit in advance, so I'm not ignoring you if I continue to pronounce it incorrectly once I'm corrected. But all the same, please let me know and I will correct it when I talk about it in future. And it's a good bloody job. Not right now. It's a good job I checked for an encampment, because there's yet another one down here. Dear. Darius has declared on Monty. That's not great. It depends what happens. If Monty starts getting destroyed, I've got problems. Does anybody that like me have any money? Darius has salt, but I can't trade it because arsehole's just taken his last incense off me. Will the Greeks, now that Darius is at war, will the Greeks attack him? No. Will Russia attack Darius? I'm guessing the answer to this is no. Oops, not Hiawatha. They don't even look similar to Darius. Nope, they won't. Is anybody not a wimp? I doubt you will. No, that just tells me that Darius has the biggest army, and probably by a distance. Because he's at war with somebody else and they're still not willing to go to war with him. That's a bit of a bad omen. And I am in no state to take Darius on yet. Ah dear. Good job I spotted this though before it started causing problems. It wasn't too bad when barbarians could only spawn units that have 2 movement. Now they can spawn horses, they're a real pain in the backside. Because obviously horses have quite high movement, and as a result, getting a unit to them before they destroy everything is quite difficult. So even with the new city, we're still at quite a reasonable amount of happiness, and we're barrelling along towards our golden age at a reasonable pace. If we're going to attack Darius, we probably want to start having a unit that has accuracy rather than barrage. let's get that prepared, because a farm on plains obviously has a food less than if it's on grass, but it gives you an extra hammer. Makes it a slightly more versatile tile, you know, once you're not trying to bolster your population hugely. Porto's now up to population 5. Could go there, but as for this second right now, we'll try and go for 6 population. And that guy is going to steal my kill, isn't he? He better not. If I'm having to deal with these annoyances, I want at least the reward for doing so. Right, get that stone qualified. That would be nice, because I've got stoneworks. It'll be a 2 food 3 hammer tile, which is not a bad tile at all. There's no huge food tile around Braga, that's the problem. I'm going to wait for a minute and hope that that scout goes away so I can capture the barbarian encampment and get all the money for myself. All 75 of it. Note, there's ice at the bottom of that map, therefore naval units are not going to be quite as useful as I had hoped. Which is a shame, because the Portuguese only have one unique unit and it's naval, so that's a bit sucky. It means we won't really get around the top of the map very easily, if at all. It depends on how icy up here is, because for all I know, north of this mountain at Brussels, it could just be all ice. I actually think there's a wonder there that I haven't seen. There's normally a wonder that's next to a mountain that's at sea. And in my first LP with Theodora playing Gods and Kings, the texture glitched for the mountain, so it looked like a giant sand dune. How are we building new cities too aggressively? We're going to say that's fine, because we don't want to annoy Assyria. Because we don't want yet another flank that we have to protect. It's bad enough that Darius could attack us in 2 places. Gold! Goody! That almost sounds sarcastic, but I did mean it. Braga's getting its market next turn, so we're going to start churning out a fair bit of gold. We're going to need it if we're going to upgrade our composite bows into crossbows eventually, and also if we want to buy settlers rather than build them, because they are a pain. Right, I'm going to have to check that there's not another encampment down here, aren't I, before I end up getting bitten in the bum. And what we want to do now is get a load of workshops in all 3 cities. Very important. They do cost 2 a turn to maintain, but the amount of bonus in production makes it well worth it. Also, you can trade production with your caravans if you have a workshop in the city. So that might be quite useful to get a wonder built in a certain city quickly, something like that. It's tempting to try and build the Colossus in Coimbra. I know that's a weird thing to say, but considering its geographical location being probably closer to a lot of cities than Lisbon, that's not a bad idea. It would also spread the wonders out a bit. It would also mean I can use Lisbon to build more important things, so that might be well worth doing. Especially as nobody appears to be rushing for the Colossus. The only point is, Assyria could theoretically build it with their first or second city. Russia could build it. Darius... Oh! I've always noticed now Darius is kicking Monty's bum. Of course he is! Because why wouldn't he be? Ah, dear. Darius, if I don't deal with him soon, could get out of control. What I do want to do, though... I kind of want to denounce him, but if I do, he might attack me before I'm ready, so I'm going to delay just for a bit. Establish a trade route with Passagadei. They get 1 science fuzz, but we get double that off him. Our truffles are now ready, and that's not a bad tile. This is alright, it's all things considered. and that's not really worth it, is it? We're going to change the home city to... Do we want to send it to Coimbra or do we want to send it to Braga? We're going to send it to Braga right now in the hope that I can maybe be able to trade with Persepolis. I don't know how many tiles you can by default trade away from, but we're about to find out. The only another issue is if I denounce Darius, he probably won't do open borders with me, and as a result, my tourism against him will drop. As our tourism is now high enough for that percentage to be worth something. Looks like there's no more barbs down here, so I'm just going to move the composite bow back. Right, establish a trade route. No, we can't get to Persepolis. We can get to Passagadei, but meh. So what we're going to do, we're going to change it again to Coimbra. It may not be that there's any huge advantage to doing that, but it does at least spread my caravans out a bit more. So if I do get attacked, I'm not as likely to lose my caravans, because presumably you can plunder the trade route very easily. Coimbra now, pop 2. Going to work that. We could still work Passagadei if we're so inclined. I was sort of hoping we might be able to work against Asir on Nineveh, but it must be related to how many turns it would take to get the caravan there and back. Also, I don't really want to send it along here because I can't see past the barbs because I obviously can't see anything. So we'll trade with Passagadei for now. The science bonus will at least help us. Getting Notre Dame might be nice. Sure, the faith is kind of irrelevant for us, but... yeah, we'll befriend you. Because we need to befriend somebody, and I'm kind of hoping that Boudica won't completely suck throughout the entire game. Free social policy. Could do that, could do that. We could open it. I'm thinking about opening a new tree, but the question is which one. If we're going for the tourism route, we'll want to get aesthetics. And by doing this, we can earn the great writers, artists and musicians more quickly. It also unlocks your Fusi when we get there, which is in architecture. So that's a long way away. Don't have to worry about that right now. Right, we'll get a workshop in there. Oh, they still don't like each other. Are they going to duel all game? I really, really hope they're not going to fight all game, because at this rate Darius is just going to stomp everybody. And that would obviously not be good. How is Suze up to 7 population already? I don't want to say bullshit, but I really do think it is. I think it's bullshit and chips, in fact. And the problem is I can't befriend Greece or Assyria because they hate each other. Obviously I don't want to befriend Darius because if I backstab him, all the AI will hate me. I don't really want to befriend Hiawatha because he's an absolute liability. It's a bit awkward. But at least we're now in the situation where we have enough farms to keep Porto going for a very long time. Let's get that back in Passagadei. That city must be earning some real bonus off its trade routes, because I've got 3 routes connected to it from what I can remember. Oh, how I wish Antwerp didn't snipe that iron. Antwerp desires a trade route. Presumably if I trade with them I'll gain influence, but I don't want to declare to protect them because otherwise I have a real issue. Because then Assyria will start getting all shirty with me, because inevitably when Assyria goes to war with Greece or vice versa, Antwerp will declare war against Assyria. Yeah, we'll do that.
Как тебе понравится?
I really hope that he's not getting further destroyed. I can't tell. Yeah, that's fine. The one thing they have done in Brave New World is give you an incentive to open the opponent's borders with yourself. Because in the past you would just trade borders for 50 gold and that'd be it. Now you want to have borders yourself for the reason that you get extra tourism. So I think that was quite clever on behalf of Firaxis. The developers can pat themselves on the back for that one, definitely. It's a good idea and I think it works well.